Jamie Hartman here, FLW Bassmasters Open Pro. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Cashion rods, more so selecting the rod for the applications that you want to use it for. First off, all their blanks are carbon fiber. They're based out of North Carolina. They make all their blanks right in their factory. They're matched with Fuji micro guides, keeping it very, very sensitive, reduces the weight on the rod. Like I mentioned, the carbon fiber goes straight through the rod. Extreme sensitivity. I've owned several different rods. I've been with different rod companies. This by far is the absolute most lightest, well balanced and sensitive rod that I've ever used. That's my personal opinion. You guys can find out for yourself. Try them and I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Now I want to touch a little bit on rod selection. Cashion has their rods categorized, take you right from drop shotting all the way up through flipping. On a typical tournament day, I'll have 18 or 20 rods in the boat rigged up for specific applications. I find that there's a few of Cashion's rods that are very, very versatile. If it weren't for that, I would probably set up more rods and use up more space and more clutter in the boat. This is their 7.3 medium heavy. It's a 12 to 50 pound line capacity, 1/4 to 1 ounce weight. This rod right here, I think out of all my tournament setups right here, I have 6 or 7 of these set up, just particular this rod. And that'll take me all the way from jig fishing. I run a buzz bait on one of them. I run a 1 ounce weight, flipping, short range pitching mats, a heavy swim jig, and a great big old Senko, and another jig rod. This rod right here carries me right through that, like I said, and it's great rod. It's great for skipping, docks with. It's got incredible backbone. I'll show you a little bit of the parabolic bend of this rod. You can run, I run braid on them and fluorocarbon on the same exact rod, and you get all that backbone, but you can see where that rod bends on the end. So you're getting most of this all the way up into this part of the rod right here, then you're getting the bend. So it gives you all this backbone right here, and it's usually used for my heavier applications, chatterbait, spinnerbait, anything like that. That's that 7.3 medium heavy. Definitely put that in your arsenal. Alright, so the next rod I'd like to mention, this here is their 7-footer. This is also an extremely versatile rod. This can be used for a lot of applications. It's got backbone, but it doesn't go up as far as the 7.3. This comes up probably about right into here. It's still got a lot of backbone. What I use this rod for is a lot of worm fishing, Texas rig, smaller jigs, your 1/4 ounce, your 3/8 ounce jigs. It's still got a ton of backbone. You can throw a swim jig on it. I have a swim jig rigged on one of them with fluorocarbon. You let that fish load up on that bait, and you lay into them, and it's got plenty of backbone for it. You can see how much lighter it is through the rod on the action. But this rod is probably, to me, their second most versatile rod that they make. As we move on, their crankbait rod. Now this is also a 7-footer. This is their P8447. It's a medium heavy action, but it's their crankbait rod. This rod has a ton of parabolic action to it. I'll demonstrate that for you. You can see how much thinner it is down through here, but look at that tip. That's how that whole tip bends over, allowing the fish to load up on the bait. And that's exactly what you want when you're crankbait fishing. Another rod or two I'd like to mention. This one here is their 7.3 heavy. It's a 14 to 30 pound, half ounce to 1.5 ounce. The 1.5 ounce meaning it's got a lot of backbone to it. I've mentioned a lot of rods that have a lot of parabolic action, but this one in particular I love to use for Carolina rig. It has a ton of backbone to it, and if you see this here, you're only getting the bend towards the tip. So when you're Carolina rigging and you're making those great big long casts with a long leader, you want a lot of backbone to it. You got to be able to crank down on them and really lean into that fish, you know, 20, 30 yards out there. And this rod right here, by far, is the best Carolina rig rod I've thrown. And the best thing about it is, Carolina rig, you get a lot of mushy bites to them. I can't tell you how many times I felt fish actually pick that bait up with that heavy weight on there, that great big long leader, and a huge long cast. This last one here for the bait casters, this is my frog rod. This is a 7.6 medium heavy, 12 to 50 pound. It's got a 1/4 ounce to 1 ounce application for weight. This has a ton of backbone. This is a meat stick. So this rod right here would be for your heavy applications. You can take the 7.6 frog, you can use a 1 ounce to a 1.5 ounce punch weight, 2 ounce punch weight on it, whatever you want to use it for. It's got a ton of backbone, and it definitely wrench fish out of the thick stuff. Sum things up, doing what I do, being a tournament angler on a professional level, I expect a lot out of the rods, out of all my equipment. I chose to fish with Cashion rods before I had a professional relationship with them. Now I get to represent them on a professional level. So you want to go online, check out these and all the other rods that they have to offer. Their website is very friendly to use, very easy. Their rods are extremely well priced. Check out the warranty on them. They have a great warranty. Like I said, they're US made. Go online, cashionrods.com, check them out. You won't be disappointed.